much for Joseph and Counseling Chennai for this initiative and also inviting me as one of the speaker. And this is very important topic because all of us are undergoing the stress. And if you look into the stress in the aspect of whether it is about this pandemic and also about the lockdown, I hope everybody is able to hear me.
Yes, you are
Yes,
audible.
we can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, thank you.
Yes, yes.
So in case of lockdown or in case of pandemic, and there is a lot of so stress and anxiety is associated with all this. And one side it is about a physical a threat that whether I will get infected or I will get affected because of coronavirus. And also the other side, it is all about I am at home for more than 3 months and I don't know whether I will be getting into the job and usual way of working, and whether I will get adapted to the situation. And the other one is about the career. Those who are youngsters, I think the college students who are passing out the final year are having a lot of queries in their mind that whether I will settle down in my career as I planned and how I'm going to settle down, what is going to be my job market. That is the biggest threat. And also about the family members, there are a lot of issues we are going through in the newspapers, and that there are a lot of domestic violence, and also women are getting agitated because of a lot of work at home. And there is stress from all age group. I could see that children are getting bombarded because they are not able to go to school and they are not having their regular routine because people are all the time at home, so it is very unusual for them to manage them. And being so disciplined at home, it is very difficult, and they don't look into their peers and get support and also share their experience and emotions. So it is becoming a greatest responsibility as mental health professionals for all of us to look into stress as a holistic perspective and how we can actually help them. And one is very important thing is we all know that we all have this right now with along with us is fear, anxiety, stress. And because of that, it is a chain linked into that low self-esteem and confidence is little lower. And there are a lot of laziness, physically people are not well active, and there is a tendency for all of us to procrastinate. And some of them feel I cannot do, they started believing that I cannot do anymore. That is a kind of learned helplessness is also there. In the case of fear, I would like to mention about it's a danger. Of course, it is a very novel, threatening situation for all of us. The COVID-19 is a very novel thing which we are not so far experienced, which is creating a fear. People are little threatened about that. It is actually very normal. If you look into MSSW started an online counseling, that is we had a helpline. We have been counseling throughout right from the March. And I could see that a lot of calls from youngsters and young adults, and as well as and adolescents. They are feeling fearful because they are they are having a threat that they will get infected. And in fact that we had a lot of calls in the initial period. Now people are getting little accustomed and adapted to the the entire COVID scenario, pandemic scenario. But with the kind of anxiety, if you look into the uncertainty, what is going to happen, what is next, what will be my future, how I'm going to settle down, whether it is a job or it is a current job I'm working on, there will be definitely an economic economic cut down or a shakening of economic recession will be there, and people are going to be really going to be affected because of this. And people who are earning already may have a cut down of salary, and people who are actually prepared to join a job are going to have a kind of a threatening situation also. So it is an anxiety always attached with them, those who are seeking job or in job or about any situation. And the stress is too much right now. If you look into the workload, the pattern of work is changed. People are not used to online work. For example, teaching profession, we are totally into a newer world. Now we are teaching through Zoom and other things, and we have been correcting things, thesis through Zoom online. It is a greatest challenge for all of us because we are not so far used to it. And adapting this millionaire kids are very tech savvy. They can adapt very well because they are in the technology uh, revolution. They are born in that period, but we are really finding it difficult, and we are somehow managing it. This is one of the greatest stress. And also for the children, there is an attention span difficulty for people who are into a virtual media, because there are a lot of tendency to get distracted, and people are multitasking while they are attending the class. I could see that some of the children are chatting in their phone also. So I have seen a lot of them doing like that also. In that case, how it is going to be useful also. And the stress not only in that case, if you think of women who are working, who are actually playing multiple role at home, and it is becoming too much on them, because they have to take care of their household, and as well as cleaning, as well as other things. And also working women are getting burdened even more. So if you look in that perspective, it is really a challenging situation. And I could see that a lot of children, especially the adolescents, are getting into the cycle of confidence issue and low self-esteem, because there are if you look into the 10th standard students, they're not exposed to examination at all because of this lockdown. And they are being the examination dates have been postponed right now, and there is an indefinite things it's going on. It is making them to feel very bored, and their inclination is getting down, and they're demotivated because of the factors which they are not actually responsible for. So we, as in psychologists, as in mental health professionals, has a huge responsibility to understand them, and understand their emotions and address them, recognize first, and making them feel very normal. And it is also it is accepted that when the process of adaptations all takes place, and making them sure that not lowering their self-esteem and contributing in their self hiring them self-esteem is very important here. And I could see that a lot of laziness, even adults, I could see that their routines are getting jumbled, and they are not actually into their regular schedule. People are not into their regular gym practices. Those who have been practicing gym quite a long time to keep up their shape, and now people are getting into the kind of the laziness syndrome. And I could also see people go for a late night sleep, and they're not able to wake up early, and there is always a night afternoon naps are attached to their regular routine. So it is kind of mixing them of their circadian rhythms have been getting confused because of their regular schedule. And it is so much of disorganization is causing them a lot of trouble also, stress also. And procrastination, one is a very important component we all look into. The deadlines, when you are being in touch with the regular contact of people, it is different. When you are in a virtual world, it is totally a different. So we tend to procrastinate either our priorities, like our personal things, or the priority of office, something we procrastinate, that becomes an habit. So this is also ultimately contributing to that. What can I do? The situation is like that, everybody is undergoing like that. So we feel that I'm not actually part of it, I am also not responsible for it, but I have been thrown into this helpless kind of situation. That is we started believing that I cannot do anything. So that is one of the greatest challenge, I think, as psychologists we need to address on. So how can we deal with this stress? How can we deal with anger? I could see that a lot of anger outburst among people, family people. They're not able to actually constructively show their anger. So they tend to outburst, or have an you all might be knowing the defense mechanism of they are doing projection or displacement of anger with others. And it is dealing with angry people also at home. The children are getting confused. How am I going to react with my parents? How can I do things? Because there is no other way of escapism also. There is no time for them to go out and relax themselves also. They are going to see only these faces, and they are under the lockdown. They don't actually go and play with their mates to even share their emotions. So it is going to be even more greater challenge to deal with angry people. How can I deal? How can I soothe them? How can I be with them? That is a greater challenge. And I could see that a lot of power struggle, just because of you are my father and mother. A lot of people post their charges on their children, and you have to do this, that, you are a child, you have to do. Sometimes we confuse them a lot because of our frustrations, which is been piled up for a quite long time. It may be financial, economical condition, or it may be a work burden because of we are not able to share our responsibility, or it may be an indifference attitude within our family members. There are a lot of issues, you can n number of issues, you can quote it down. So I think it is a primary responsibility for all of us to understand this scenario first. So make them understand this scenario itself is a greater challenge, because they all are aware of it, but still they deny to accept the fact that we may undergo it. Is so normal to get stressed, but how I'm going to deal with the stress is the matter of difference. And doing what to do, sometimes we say that you whatever you love to do, you do. Children will be saying that I love to draw, but now if you give them drawing for 24 hours, they cannot draw. And there are a lot of children love to listen music. Now they are with music all the time. And there are women, they say that I love cooking. Now they are in the disposal to do cooking alone. So you have to really think, and as a mental health professionals, a responsibility to give an alternate strategies to help them to monitor themselves, and shift creatively how well they can actually maintain their well-being. And most of the time the conflict arises within family members or within yourself, that is intra and interpersonal. I would say that it is because of the desire is not met, the needs are not met, or the expectations are not met within both of us, or there may be a difference of opinion. But what is happening is we don't try to actually take other person as granted. Most of the time we don't give them a time for understanding what is that I am going through, what is that you are going through. There is no mutual talk over what is the state of mind of each one of us, but we take as granted that I am also suffering, you are also suffering, why don't you understand me? That is there in family members. I think that is a greatest responsibility for all of us as family members, as well as the mental health professionals, to understand them. Though you are undergoing a lot of trouble and a lot of stress, it is our duty and responsibility, and as well as our right to express it in a right way. So communication plays a major role in this kind of lockdown period. I feel that the dynamics in family need to be retuned, redefined, and as well as every now and then polished to make the other person feel secure, safe, and also loud and affectionate. Connection is one of the greatest help you can do it during this pandemic. I could say that a lot of my friends' family are getting rebonded because they were not actually in the family setup for a quite long time. Parents were being scattered, and children were being in hostel for a quite long time. They have come back to the nest now. I could see that a lot of joy and happiness to share. And but at the same time, there are a lot of uncertain experiences also is happening. So settling down and understanding the dynamics within the family, this is the God given time for all of us to rebond and reunite our family and re-establish our bonding in a very, very constructive manner. I think as a person who is working on an efficiency model, I always believe in positive psychology. Instead of working on reading, why can't we actually seeding? Why can't we work on seeding? So it is more important for all of us. The stress is very common. The stress in all level is very common. And if you look into, we are so blessed. We have a laptop, we have a microphone, we have a beautiful structure of home infrastructure to talk to you over the phone right now. There are a number of people who are actually pondering on road without any their basic needs are not being satisfied. So that kind of contentment need to be addressed this. So instead of brooding on what is not we are having, what kind of stress we are being thrown out, rather than we can realize that what kind of resources we all have, what kind of resources we all can build in together, what kind of resources we can actually work on together for our own family. So instead of throwing a lot of lights on stress, I would like to skip some of the slides which is more often what is stress and basic things of stress. But I would like to mention about symptoms of stress over here, the behavioral symptoms, and then also about the emotional symptoms, and also about the physiological symptoms. symptoms. We all might be knowing there are people who are having anxious and little no tense, and also uh, having stress throughout or burnt out will have these kind of emotional, behavioral, and physiological symptoms. If you notice them if very keenly, they may not be overtly, or they may not be talking to you or verbalizing to you. But if you look into them, watch them, there will be any symptoms of this will definitely help you to understand they are in stress. So these symptoms gives us a way of how can I help. So that is the first thing I think as a mental health professionals we all can do it from our side. I think we need to keep ourselves very, very healthy first, number one, because from the empty cup you cannot pour. So you need to refill your positive cup always. I think always you have to give more to regain the energy from others also. And in the process of giving energy, you should also know that how much boundaries are important for all of us as mental health professionals. I've seen a lot of children watching this TV about the corona, and people are updating, and adults, that too elderly people watching the TV and getting anxiety, anxious about what is happening to the world, why it is happening, god, what is happening to us, all of us. I could see that an entire stages of crisis is going on. And if you look into people watching TV getting into secondary level stress is high. The updation of statistics, they will see how many death rates every day, how many of them are getting trouble. And if there is somewhere some people will say that I didn't get food, I didn't actually get, the media people would like to focus on that to increase their coverage and as well as their TRP rate. But people are not very well aware of all this. People get into the trap of all this, and they watch continuously these TV channels and get agitated. You can actually see that visual media is like an hypnotize. No, they hypnotize very well us. And if you look into a patriotic movie for quite some time, you will feel that day itself and my India feeling for a quite long time. So that is happening for all of us. If you watch a cricket match, you will invariably you will be supporting Indians because you feel that Indians are with you. So the visual media has the power of hypnotizing you. So you must be aware of this, and you have to really encourage children not to watch these kind of news channels. Instead of comedy is fine, it's fine if they recreate themselves, or some useful information, or watch a beautiful movie which can give message for them. I think my son and myself was watching a movie on Coach Carter. That was a fantastic movie on positive, psychology side. How a coach can contribute and build in relationship, and as well as bring back the potential of youngsters. That was a beautiful movie. And I also watched this. What is that movie called? That is an the warrior. What is that? I'm not getting it. Okay, it is a movie of this Kung Fu Panda. Yes, Kung Fu Panda. Fantastic movie. I was telling him there is no secret ingredient. You have to just believe in yourself. Watch movies, such a movie, simple movies, but you will really see the energy in them if you are able to bring back the kind of positivity. So as a psychologist, we all have to understand what are the maladaptive responses the person who has stress is, that they are getting into the trap of this cycle of sadness, or getting into hostile, getting into anger and mood, and how it is important for all of us to make them understand these negative emotions actually drain them, and also physiologically create such a disturbance, a chemical imbalance, and how it affects their body, how it affects their physical system, how it may cause and psychosomatic disorders, and they get headache, and they have painkiller for that, and further they damage their system. So we as an mental health professionals can contribute in bringing a little bit change in their thinking pattern, and also worrying pattern. This we can actually work on with family people. And I think it is our duty, prime duty, to also to uh, make and create an awareness among others also, how it is important to bring in change. And you have to really allow other person to actually create a change, and also allow yourself to go through that process of change. That is very, very essential for all of us to make an attempt on that. So this maladaptive responses, you must be aware of as a psychologist, most of them. And these responses, if we are able to identify, I think is a prime duty of all of us to make them understand how this stress could be faced with our positive, I mean, strength itself. How we can make it as a strength rather than looking at the stress creates such a kind of chemical imbalance and also making your brain to be in a flight or fight mode. But at the same time, if it is challenge, if it is there is an adrenaline rush, you can take care of yourself in a very, very positive and constructive manner also. So that could be possible only if you are being aware of the positive and negative approaches towards dealing the stress. The destructive approach could be emotional behavior. One who doesn't understand what is that the situation is all about, that is your logical brain is off. Only your emotional brain is on, and then you are throwing words or scolding, and you are not under your control, or crying or agitated. All this comes under the emotional behavior. Not even thinking of what is going on, and the anger outburst. I could see that a lot of people are actually even getting into and physical abuse and physical violent behavior. And now there are a lot of domestic violence entries as per the statistics. We don't know about that, but the statistics says it is increasing day by day. There are a lot of people are vulnerable because maybe economically they are not, or power because of their vulnerable, or children they are vulnerable. Those who doesn't have a voiceover at home are vulnerable. So there are a lot of person who's having this power over other person are able to be able to use these in a very, very destructive manner. So aggression is one aspect that we need to really look into. And not listening, not able to listen and just give order and make people under the control. And fixed solutions, this has to be done, that has to be, there is no flexibility. And there are a lot of egocentric approach when they are approaching, whether it is a relationship issue or anything. If you look into, they are not ready for compromising, they are ready to actually fight for. So this kind of egocentric issues, I have seen that there is one family who came for counseling over the phone. They said that we are not even spoke to each other. The couple is staying alone. They are saying that they have not even spoke to him for the month, and we are living in the same house. I'm preparing food, but I don't serve him, and he doesn't talk to me, I don't talk to him. We live in a separate rooms in the same apartment, but I don't know how much time we can tolerate this, and how long I am going to live with him like this. So such a kind of egocentric, even one person is not ready to come forward to compromise. They both think that I am right. So that kind of scenarios are also present. It is not because of just lockdown. The lockdown has triggered them to get into the surface level. There are underlying issues are already there. So we say as in there are a lot of things you must understand as in behavioral scientist or in mental health professionals. There's not issues or stress or relationship issues, or all of them are related to this pandemic alone. There are underlying issues, or there are a lot of issues we have been not finished so far, has been propping up, and it is also into the surface level because we are in a very, very vulnerable situation. That we all need to really understand. As counselors, we should really make them settle now, right down, as it's a psychological first aid as we call it. And then we have to give them an probably an emotional freedom or kind of techniques. You can use it to understand their emotions and cool down first systematically, and then going on to the counseling. It is very essential to go beyond the surface level to deal. And it will take time, and online counseling is also a challenge for mental health professionals. I know how difficult it is to trace the non-verbal communication, but still through video we could get somehow. And then closed people are not ready to negotiate, non-negotiable. They don't want it to come for a compromise. They are not ready for even a talk or an, they wanted to be here, they wanted to be heard, not to actually talk. So that kind of a very, very unusual behavior is something a negative approach towards the stress. But all these are possible unless you are aware of it and ready for settlement. And also, you, as a mental health professional, we may also go through all this. We are not actually, exceptionals when it comes to emotions, of course. But how we deal it, efficiently, what kind of constructive approaches we really, make use of it, that's very important. We can teach them how you can actually be matured in a way. If there is a situation where there is a crisis or a kind of a conflict or a kind of a stressful situation, there is a stressful situation at your home, then how can you maturely behave it there? You don't actually talk too much or either side to create in that situation worse, rather than settling down, keeping silent for some time itself is the greatest help. And also I have seen a lot of women or losing their patience because of, maybe because of their overburden. And I could see that women are getting a lot of complaints nowadays. They are saying that nobody is helping me, I'm tired, all this are there. So understanding women perspective at home and how they need to be nurtured is very important. A woman at home is peaceful means then the rest of the people will be peaceful. So we as in mental health professionals have to really make the other person believe that how it is important to keep your spouse or your mom in a very settled manner or a peaceful or a calm manner. You can actually make it very simple if you really appreciate her, and if you really recognize her, if you really understand her responsibility and give a word of appreciation for her, she will do more than your expectation. So that is very, very essential for all of us to use constructive approach while we are in stress. And then as a time, I could see that a lot of people put down themselves and actually submit themselves. And also there are a lot of people who don't actually say no, because of that they are overburdened also. So you need to practice the skill of no, how to say no, and how I can assertively communicate, standing for myself, standing for my own opinion, as well as respecting others opinion, as well as not hurting others feelings are very important. So if we are able to put across such a kind of things, we don't lose the relationship, and the same way we deal that stressful situation in a very effective manner. I could see that a lot of family dynamics need to be fine tuned with this assertive skills. I've seen that the in-laws and the mother-in-law and father-in-law and mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law problems could be settled if they have been in a very good negotiation and are able to use this negotiation skills, or able to use this particular assertiveness skills. And also active listening. I've seen that a lot of children are saying that my mother won't listen to me, they are not listening to me, they are into the phone. So if as a parent, if we are not the role models, how can we actually expect the children to be using the screen time in a very regular manner? So self regulation is very important for all of us. Being a role model at home is very important. If we are using it constructively, productively, and being very transparent with the children, and also making them understand how it is important for my growth, professional growth and personal growth, how it could actually contribute for the family, economic and as well as for the family welfare. So this need to be understood by the children. So active listening is very, very essential for all of us. And listening to the child, listening to the husband, listening to the wife, this has to be inculcated right from the beginning. If it is not, at least during this lockdown, there is no other choice, that you cannot go just like that out and do your duties, because you have your moving out is restricted right now. So in that case, you need to be with family people. In that case, actively listening to each one really enhances the relationship. That's a key tool, I say. You need not actually do anything or advise something, or even say some solutions for them. You just listen to them, be with them. That itself is a great help actually. I think this alternative solution requires a lot of creativity. I could see that a lot of children come with an ambiguous statement that I don't know what will happen. This that the school is going to reopen. I'm bored of this school because they are in the school through online, because they are not able to see me and I'm not able to see my friends. I'm not able to chat. In between periods there are a lot of miscommunication. So many complaints they have about this online Zoom schooling. But I have asked them, what is the alternative solution? Have you ever think of not going to school and being at home without doing any of the things, and you are getting bugged up? 1 month you have been like that. You didn't even know what to do. You have played everything. There is no opportunity for you to go out and play because you cannot meet friends and actually you have to maintain social distance. In that case, what would be your alternative solution? You would have drawn, you would have played board games, you would have done all that. But after some time there is a lot of boring takes place, that monotony of even playing. So in that case, what is important for all of us to engage them positively? So how many hours a parent can engage the children actively? That is very great challenge actually. If they are getting into a regular schedule by their school or by their teaching centers, it is really nice for them to get their memory to be at least in an flow. I could see that a lot of children are facing the issues because of this memory problem, because of the rest and trauma. We'll say that is a trauma that they have not been used to such a kind of situation. In that case, they are saying that I don't know, I am blank, I've forgotten everything. Children are saying that we need to be understanding all this is very essential for us. And then instead of generally we go for problem centered approach. Instead of that, we need to go on to the next one is about the solution centered. What can I do now, right now? I should not be fixed to ideas. I should actually think of the problem, and I should think this: the stress is not only affecting me, the stress is affecting the entire family. The stress is affecting entire my professional life. This is actually leading into an I don't know unpleasant situation of mine. I'm creating. I'm responsible for this. So why can't I work on it? For this, it does that kind of solution centric approach will be very, very useful. And then open and very negotiable, that I'm open for change. I'm open for what kind of suggestions you make. I'm open if the no teacher is going through online classes and give some suggestion boxes. I'm open for the mother to serve me only with intervals. I'm open for going helping other people. There are kind of openness. If you keep is an option, there is no burden on you, there is no fixed rules on you. So it makes you to feel little negotiable and go and approach the person friendly. This is a very, very essential strategy, I feel. So this constructive and destructive, we all know. The very important things I could see that from the word stress itself, I could create for all of you. This is about the S, that is stands for strength. What are the strength you all have? The physical and mental health and mental strength. What are the signature strength you all have? Take charge of that. How can you positively influence other person? So Alima does every now and then, she sends a positive message. You don't look for a beautiful place, you make the place beautiful, she has said once. I've seen in her posting. So such a kind of positive attitude, if you are spreading across, you are also feeling that you have the residue of it, isn't it? When you use a perfume on another person, you also actually smell that perfume. It lingers in your memory for a quite long time, the perfume. So that is very, very important for all of us to create such a kind of positive atmosphere at home, at around us, and also help other person to identify that kind of positive in them, and giving them an opportunity to feel what kind of strength you all have. And I feel really it is very essential for all of us to say you have such a kind of wonderful positive strength. This is what I really like. So today you can take a change challenge or something. 21 days, we have a lockdown like that, you have a 21 days challenge at home. Make a note of it every day. One positive comment about one person at the home. You have very well today, this dish is delicious, this particular TV serial you have been watching is very, very useful for me. Anything and everything you just say. Somebody has given you a coffee at the right time, thank them with a smile. That is one. your coffee at the right time is best. Be very specific and give a positive stroke to them. That actually spreads, the smile spreads. Next time you need not ask for coffee. You will be flooded with another biscuit or pagodas in your table. So make sure that you are spreading across. Working on others' strength is very important. You have done your duties today. You have cleaned the home very nice, and I could see that you have cleaned your AC today. So my son was involved in washing the wash basin yesterday, because we all take in turn of washing things. And I said that, wow, it is fantastic. Why don't you do every time, so that I we can see us, you know, a clean wash basin, I said. Then he said that you are giving me a positive stroke, and as well as making me to do every time, he said. Then I said that it is your choice. He said that I would like to get that positive stroke. I will do it every time. It may be in fun, but I really like the way he has been very open to me. He knows that I am conducting Zoom classes. I teach all this to others, but the same way he is able to somewhere store in his memory that how important to give positive strokes to others. So this you can really do every day. Do it 21 days challenge. You see the difference in your family. You see the difference among your children, I mean school children, or if you're interacting with your office colleagues. Fantastic, you are able to make a difference. Even during this online sessions, you are able to do your schedule, and you are able to work productively. All that you can make it very, very clear on that. And then time management, plan your time, take a break. It is very important to take break, sleep very well, and it is very, very essential for all of us to have a scheduled time. And because you are not in, so initially I was in a disorientation that I forget dates, I forget days, because we don't go to college. It's a regular routine is missing, that I used to forget the dates. Now I have kept a diary, and I have kept a whiteboard with a marker, writing everything scheduled. So it is very essential for all of us to get tuned for the time, and let's not jumble the time, so that the schedule is, that itself is a threaten and is a stress. Piled up work will be there. That is stress always for us. So instead of that, giving some time, compartmental work, do that time work and just finish that and go to the next. So the procrastination is also been reduced. And then recreation, laugh, do your favorite activity, probably a dance. Movement is very important. If you move, all this negative energy is being washed out. I have seen, then even you, while washing your vessels, say to yourself that I'm washing all the negative energy stored in my brain. I'm cleansing myself, washing all the negative energy. That could be a better thing. While you are setting up your cupboard or cleaning up your cupboard, also say to yourself that is, I'm doing it, cleaning all this blocked energies which is hindering me. This really helps actually. And I have seen that people say that who are involved in an activity requires a flow. Flow is in positive strength for you. If you are involved in a flow, it is also a healing. So you can actually heal yourself, saying yourself authentically, I'm feeling so upset, but by doing this, I'm slowly relaxing myself. Say to yourself, it's really works out very well. I have done a lot of times that one. While you are cutting up the vegetables, and if you are thinking of an anger which has been pent up, just remove all the anger feel through cutting up the vegetables. Say to yourself that I'm cutting all my anger first. I don't want to react to anyone. I just want to deal it with myself. So it's fantastic work. It's working out. So then exercise, do deep breathing, stretch yourself, discuss. I think it is very, very essential. If you are a yoga practitioner, you can do. Otherwise, there are a lot of online yoga apps are there, mindfulness apps are there, and take a short walk in your terrace. Walk on 8 is one of the thing I have seen latest, and you can walk on or dance in your terrace. If you don't want others to watch also, you can do it in your hall, and make sure that you are walking, your movements are there, you are able to stretch yourself and create some kind of exercise for your body. Because when you exercise, you also know that our growth hormones secrete, and we are very important for growth hormones. You all are well aware of serotonin and dopamine and also endorphin and also oxytocin. All this, if you are taking care, the stress will definitely reduce. And then support system, talk it out. This is a wonderful forum now. Counseling Chennai is arranging for such a kind of forum for us, all of us, to share our ideas, talk. When we have a meeting, we may have to relax ourselves. You may have a meeting with your friends, you may have a chat box with your friends, and you may have an kind of an experiential sharing through your blogs and other things. Make sure that you are talking out, or at least write a journal. Write a journal and keep it note that you are not keeping penting up all your emotions. You are actually letting it out. It's very, very essential for all of you. And express your stress in a very positive way. For example, if you can draw or a sketch or something, think of all the negative emotions, start drawing. At the end of the drawing, let it not be in perfect drawing, let it be whatever it may be, but you will definitely feel relaxed. I'll tell you, you can actually, I can vouch you can pay me for that also. I've given you a tips for this. So you can draw and say to yourself that I'm relaxing myself, and then draw entirely, keep that emotion in mind, and then once you completed the drawing, feel that emotion, whether it is reduced. It will definitely reduce. And sleep is very essential. I think a lot of people are getting distracted. One important complaint I'm getting is this sleep disturbance. Sleep cycle is disturbed. They are not able to sleep the time when it has to be, and they're not able to wake up early, and there are a lot of disturbances, and they're not able to go to sleep normally how they used to. So if you are physically, you are loaded, definitely sleep will come because of your physical tiredness. If you have been mentally so alert, you will be physically, you will be resting on the bed, but your brain is not slept. So relaxation technique for yourself is very essential. Do a deep breathing exercises. There is an app on mindfulness, or and also JPMR is available. You can actually use that and relax your body. If you do that, if for at least 5 6 days continuously, keep a regular bedtime, and don't do your work on your bed. Kindly, I have seen a lot of people are working with the laptop on bed, so the memory or the brain associate with their work and they get confused. Whenever you go to bed, it should be only sleep. Okay, so that kind of association, neural connection is required for your bed, because we are confusing so much already, all the stimuli. So let's do some kind of scheduling for all of us. Whenever you find it sleep, you have to go to bed. And you also make sure that you are not walking on the bed, you are not using bed for anything else. So this becomes then conditioning. It is we co-condition or an association, we call it, no. So that do that. So sleep can be possibly strengthened, drinking warm milk and also relaxing yourself. And please switch off your mobile or keep your mobile away at least 1 hour before your sleep. Make this as an habit. If you do that, because when you look into the mobile screen or a laptop screen, and if you go to sleep, it doesn't actually settle down. Your brain neural functions are active, so you may not feel a fresh feel when you are sleeping or after sleep also. So this is an essential tips I would like to give. There is something called A to Z. I would like to share it with the organizers, so that you can also get in touch with those things, and which is very, very common to all of us, and we can actually practice workable, realistic, practical exercises which you can definitely do. If you what is do's and don'ts, I really wanted to make an tips over here. If you are anger express, it is fine to say sorry. Make immediate apology immediately. If you're anger and you have also scolded someone, you have really created, you are the person who is actually an person involved in the conflict and who have flared up the conflict, then it is better to say sorry and resolve, because we don't know how long this lockdown is going to continue. In that case, you are further damaging your stay at home. So better to ask apology and keep yourself cool. So it is at least your burden is settled down. You don't actually carry that. Your burden is settled down. And release your pent up emotions through physical activities. If you find it very, very worked out, and you don't, for example, I'm angry with my in-law, I cannot actually overtly show it. So I may go and do a dance or a workout or an exercise, and I can release my anger also. But make sure that you're keeping that in emotions and doing. We call one exercise that is emotional freedom technique. We may have that technique later on. I can also arrange for a session, which is very, very helpful for all of us to release the pent up emotions that we can actually do. When you are emotionally or under stress, do not react to the other person, whether it is words or action. Don't give any, better have a choice for yourself. Choice to respond rather than reacting. So that is very essential for all of us. And as psychologists, we can give tips and advice and a lot of things we can do for others. Are we following it? It's very essential question for all of us. If we are not able to do that, it is not actually we are pouring it from an empty cup. Better we have to earn the right to teach others, and what we practice we should preach. I feel definitely it will definitely work for people. Whatever I have been practicing, I have given tips for you. And making now with this pandemic scenario, people who are approaching you through online counseling or probably any mode of counseling, make them be very, very knowledgeable about what is really causing them stress. It is about the pandemic. If it is pandemic, the stimulus is all around. Everyone is going through that. It is so normal that you are not one among them. Make them feel that they are not they are not alone. They are one among them. That kind of feeling has to be instilled in them. And then develop a style, in the style of life that act as a buffer against the stress. What kind of an attitude or a style could help them, or a lifestyle could elevate them from the stress level. Develop an effective support system for them. Who is the next person, a co-therapist kind of at home, whom you can actually rely on, whom that person can really be happily associate with. That person could be an helpful person at that place. And have a clear objective to manage your time. Even as a therapist, you should have time for your personal self and other things. I think something is going on the screen. It's fine. Some child is playing. I'm okay with that. And have a clear and be systematic about making decisions and solving problems. Don't procrastinate even solving or resolving your conflicts. If it's a problem is with yourself or because of your act, accept and apologize immediately. So it is very easy for all of us to move on. And then be realistic. You cannot solve all the problems. Someone say that I'm anxious because I'm going to get this and this. How much ever you can, don't promise unnecessarily. Whatever you can do, only you can do. So be a realistic person with your family members and as well as a therapist to outside. Welcome change. It is very essential for all of us. Now we need to embrace this change. We are in the transformation pace. We may not know that how long it is going to take, and how we are going to be benefited or it is going to be deteriorated. We don't know about that. There is a lot of uncertainties attached to that. So we need to live with this. So stress, if you carry it for a so long time, it is going to be a burden. More than burden, it is going to damage you physiologically and psychologically. And we as a mental health professionals has a huge responsibility to provide psychological first aid for the people who are needy around us. And as a mental health professional, we need to be intact to help others. For that, we need to actually fill our positive cup to refill always to help others. So, with this note, I would like to end up the session, and I welcome any kind of questions or anything you would like to mention.